Hello and welcome everybody to your Maggiore Grand Prix track guide presented by ARL Sim Racing and ARL Driver Training Saturdays. Today we are joined by ERS BadGuy Callie, who will do our laps for us. He will be doing 3 laps today. The first one will be focused around the lines and be taken at a slower pace so that we can talk through it. The second lap will be gearing in lines at a quicker pace. And the third lap I'll probably stop talking. That'll be your gear selection, braking points, lines, throttle modulation, full speed lap. And at which point I'll likely stop talking, so it's a lot less distracting for anybody wishing to pay more attention to the exact inputs of the driver at that point in time. And we are underway here now, just crossing the start-finish line on the main straight. You can see he moves all the way to the right-hand side of the track and cuts right to the center of the apex for that corner. Doesn't use all the track on the outside to set him up for a better line going into the second corner. Using the curb with the right-hand side of the car, touching that, and then goes outside all the way to the other side of the track to maximize your entry for turn 3. Using lots of curb on turn 3 with those inside left-hand wheels, all the way to the outside, setting himself up for a good run down this straight. This is the first non-main straight of the lap, and thus you want to maximize exit there. You can lose a lot of time on the straights if you're not exiting that at the right speed. You can see now he's using all of that left-hand side of the track, taking a late apex for that corner. Very important as you want to get the power down going up the hill. It's a very power-sensitive part of the circuit, and if you exit poorly, you can end up losing a lot of time. Now the chicane here, we're going all the way on the curb on the left tires and then almost cutting that second corner, getting the right tires, keeping 2 tires on the track, but still maximizing the amount of track, and doing the same almost for the exit of that chicane. Up the hill, 2 nothing corners really. You shouldn't have to brake, just trying to connect the dots between the 2 apexes. And now we go downhill towards the big banky. You're going to brake around the 50-meter mark and go all the way from the outside. You can use lots of curb on the inside here, as he does, and then move all the way to the outside of the circuit again. You have another straight similar to the last one, but with a little bit more of a throttle maintenance here. You want to take that left hand, open up this right-hander here. And again, using those curbs is very important here. You want to go curb to curb as much as possible. This long right-hander, you can almost make it one big long corner. As you see, touch out inside, touch outside, and then touch inside again, almost with one input. Make it smooth as possible. And then this one here, you want to avoid cutting at all, but put those left-hand tires on the curbing. And as we go towards the final corner of the circuit, you are going to take a wider line, maximizing the amount of power down. Beginning of the second lap now. This one will be focused on lines and gearing and done a little bit faster. So you'll see on the right hand side the reference is the end of the fence. He's braking, hitting that apex, but not going all the way to the outside again. Locking the right hand side into that curbing there, all the way to the left, all the way to the right. Open up this left-hander at turn 3. Make sure you take a late apex, a little bit of curb, all the way to the left-hand side. Lock those right-hand tires in and go over the curb and use lots on exit. And now you're on the straight, power down, get as quick as you can, as fast as you can down here. And all the way to the left-hand side, long corner, let's apex late and get the power down early for the uphill section once again. Not using all the outside of the track because he's lining himself up for the entrance to that little corner there, but then also this chicane here. Curb to curb once again, locking those left-hand tires in, almost cutting the second one, really opening up the track, and over the curb there. All the way to the outside, using the most of the track, these 2 nothing corners. You should just be modulating maybe a tiny bit if you're carrying too much speed, and down towards Banky Boy once again. We're going to brake at the 50-meter mark, all the way from the outside, use the curb on the inside, and power down early. Now you have your final section of the track. He will take a very late apex on this corner to get all the way to the left-hand side, so it really maximizes your track for that right-hander there, which has a tendency to pull you out wide if you don't take the apex right. One smooth input through this corner here, the double right-hander, curb to curb to curb, and he's through. Make sure you don't cut this left-hander, but put those wheels right on the curb again. And your final corner, he will be taking a wider line, just letting the car balance itself out so you get the power down early. And I'll stop talking now. You can see him do this at full speed and get an idea of what a quick lap really looks like. And a great lap there from ERS Bad Guy Cali. Thank you once again to him for putting this together for us and giving us some insight into how the quickest drivers get around. And just a couple points I wanted to offer in summation. You can see that with this course, there's a good chance your corner is going to either lead into another corner or lead onto a straight. Keeping that in mind when approaching a corner is really important, and it's something that you can see the Bad Guy does really well on his laps. He's always thinking about how he wants to apex a corner in relation to what comes after that corner, whether it's a long straight, which could be a great passing opportunity, or it's leading into a series of other corners. Sometimes taking that late apex can really open up another corner for you on that lap, and that's a great thing to take note of and to try to play around with when you are trying to learn a new circuit. Maybe if you're finding that you're having a hard time getting through the second or third corner in a complex, changing your apex can really help. And the second point would be using the curbs. The curbs are part of the track. You don't want to cut the track. You don't want to be flying through a chicane and not hitting any apexes, but using that curb can really maximize the amount of track you have to play with, and that's really important, especially in bigger cars. These GT3 cars are a great example because they have the weight, they have the suspension, they can make it over a lot of these curbs. It's not going to destabilize the car a lot. So you have those tools there to use. You have that track there to use. When you start using all the circuit, you'll notice the times start ticking off your lap times. So thanks again for tuning in. And if you want any more information, visit arlsimracing.com. It's the best league on GT, and we'd love to have you out. Thanks again, and goodbye.